Good morning, dear students of class 7, section B and C. Beneath Shukla, your social science teacher, and hope you all will be very fine, comfortable at your residence, and will be safe also at the same time. So, today we will discuss about the remaining portion of history, and in that segment, I was in second chapter, my dear friends. I was in second chapter, so I would like to carry forward the same thing again forward. And we are right now studying the second chapter of our history book, SST. Studying about the second chapter, that is, wait a second, we will get it. Yes, now we are so new kings and kingdoms. We were discussing this one, new kings and kingdoms, and today we would like to move forward in the same chapter. Okay, so I think we were somewhere here. Agriculture and irrigation system we had to read today. I have already finished about this Dravidian style of famous temple Shailia of Chola dynasty. So we would like to study today the agriculture and irrigation. Agriculture and irrigation, we have to read this heading. We would like to carry forward now. Many of the achievements of the Cholas were made possible through new developments in agriculture. Look at map number 2 again. Now we'll have to go to map number 2, as it is mentioned in this heading that many of the achievements of the Cholas were made possible through new developments in agriculture. It means that Chola ruler developed a specific kind of agricultural system that was very much important. And now we are moving towards map number 2. Here we can easily find on page number 22, map number 2 is there. Okay, so now Gangai Kot Cholpuram, you may see it there. A pond was dug out by famous Chola ruler named Rajendra I. In his new capital named Gangakot Cholpuram, he created a pond, and that pond was very important from the point of view of irrigation also. In the same way, in the places like Urayur, right now it is in Tamil Nadu, and Tanjore also, there are a lot of famous sources of irrigation, like canals, like rivers, like this one also, canals, river, pond, well. So in the development of Chola dynasty, the role of irrigation and agriculture was very much important. Look at map 2 again. Notice that the river Kaveri branches off into several small channels before emptying into the Bay of Bengal. Now we can easily see it is here on page number 2, map number 2, page number 22, that now see the river Kaveri, before it disperse itself in the Bay of Bengal, it is divided into many small sub branches. Okay, now you can easily find, see, before its dispersion into the Bay of Bengal, the river Kaveri has been divided into various kind of small sub branches. You may see it in the map. So that's why it has been written here that look at map number 2 again. Notice that the channels before the river Kaveri branches off into several small channels before emptying into the Bay of Bengal. These channels overflow frequently, depositing fertile soil on their banks. Water from the channels also provides the necessary moisture for agriculture, particularly the cultivation of rice. Now, in the delta of South India, in the Krishna Kaveri delta of South India, the production of rice is very enormous, very rich in nature. So for that cultivation, What is most important? The most important is the moisture for agriculture. Along with the same, the new allowable soil that is scattered through the waves of Kaveri river, through the current of Kaveri river. So these things are very much important. Although agriculture had developed earlier in other parts of Tamil Nadu, it was only from the 5th or 6th century that this area was opened for large scale cultivation. Although it is said that the agriculture took place very earlier in Tamil Nadu state, but on a broad level, this agriculture was being started in the 5th and 6th century. Forest had to be cleared in some regions, land had to be leveled in other areas. Unleveled land was leveled, and at the same time, forests were also being cleaned at that time. Land had to be leveled in other areas. In the delta region, embankments had to be built to prevent flooding, and canals had to be constructed to carry water to the fields. In the she areas, embankment were made to get some new land and to get a good facility of water irrigation also. Irrigation system also, and at the same time, some canals were also constructed to carry water to the fields. In many areas, two crops were grown in a year. Okay, in the many areas of Tamil Nadu, uh, crops were grown in a year. Now, this is a very beautiful picture. A 9th century sluice gate in Tamil Nadu. Sluice gate in Tamil Nadu of the 9th century. It regulated the outflow of water from tank into the channels that irrigated the field. Now, such a kind of things were made in a canal or in a river, so that through various kind of divisions, like there are one, two, three, four divisions are there. So as per looking the flowing level of a river or of a canal, uh, the irrigation system was being developed through the channels. The water used to go to various kind of topographic fields for the purpose of irrigation. A variety of methods were used for irrigation. In some areas, well were dug. In other places, huge tanks were constructed to collect rainwater. Remembers that irrigation work requires planning, organizing labor and resources. Maintaining these works and deciding on how water is to be shared, most of the new rulers as well as the people of living in villages took an active interest in these activities. Now, in this particular paragraph, some strategies have been told to us that how the area was irrigated. Okay, so in that one, the first most important thing, that some canals were dug, then some well were constructed. Okay, and some ponds were also made to collect rainwater. Apart from that, the organizing labor and resources, maintaining these works, and deciding on how water is to be shared, all these strategies were very much important for the purpose of irrigation, for the purpose of good cultivation. Now, in the next heading, what we are going to read, the administration of the empire. The administration of the empire. How was the administration organized? Settlements of peasants known as Ur. Underline this point, very much important. Again, I say, how was the administration organized? We are discussing on this issue, administration of South India. Now, the settlements of peasants known as Ur. Ur. What was Ur? Ur was a small unit of village or a small unit of locality. That locality used to be consists with the settlement of peasants. Okay, the settlements of peasants used to be called as Ur. Became prosperous with the spread of irrigation, agriculture. Groups of such villages formed larger units are called Nadu. Okay, like just we read it in a very simple way, that now Tamil Nadu. Nadu is a village. Nadu is the synonyms of village in Tamil language. Okay, then Tamil is a language. The village of Tamil speaking area, Tamil speaking people was called Tamil Nadu. The village of Tamil speaking people is called Tamil Nadu. Okay, so Nadu means village. The village council and the Nadu performed several administrative functions including dispensing justice and collecting tax. So the administrative council of Nadu used to perform several kind of functions, and among those functions two functions were very much important. Number one, dispensing justice, doing justice with the unjust people, and collecting second taxes. Okay, second was collecting taxes. Now the next paragraph, rich peasants of the Vellala. Vellala, now what do you mean by Vellala? Vellala mean upper caste. Okay, Vellala mean upper caste people. Okay, the Brahmin peasants were called Vellala. Okay, at that time. The rich peasants of Vellala caste exercised considerable control over the affairs of Nadu under the supervision of central Chola government. Okay, so actually the Chola rulers can't go everywhere day by day, so they have appointed Vellala. Vellala means upper, just like the landlord system of West Bengal. Okay, now you do not know what is landlord system. While you will go to class 8, then you will read what do you mean by it. But through this Bellala system, what we come to know? We come to know that rich peasants of the Bellala caste exercised considerable control over the activities or affairs of the Nadu. Okay, it means Bellala used to control the affairs of Nadu. Okay, through their influence and under the direct control of central Chola government. The Chol kings gave some rich landowners titles like Muven Dwelan, okay, a Velan or pigeons serving three kings. Now, what did the Chola ruler do? The Chola ruler mainly gave different kind of title to the people. Like one title was Muven Dwelan. Muven Dwelian means rich farmer who was serving under three kings. That was called Muven Dwelian. Another was Arayar. What was Arayar? Arayar means chief. Okay. Now as markets, as markers, okay, markers of respect, and entrusted them with important offices of the state at the center, and sometimes some important urayur, or some important what should I say, arayar, or some important people used to be posted in the central government services also, central administration of Chola rulers. Okay, so now then comes types of land. Okay, types of land. So in Chola inscriptions we have found that there are several kind of different type of lands that was available at that time. Now we'd like to study it. Now the number one is Belan Vagi. Belan Vagai. Belan Vagai, what do you mean by Belan Vagai? Land of non-Brahmins, peasants, proprietors. Okay, land of non-Brahmana peasants proprietors. Okay, the land that was awarded to non-Brahmins proprietors, non-Brahmins or honors, that was called Velan Vagai. Okay, then Brahmadeya. So that land gifted to Brahmins was called Brahmadeya. The land that was gifted to Brahmins was called Brahmadeya. The next is Salabhoga. Shalabhoga. What is Shalabhoga? Land for the maintenance of a school was called Shalbhoga. Okay, the land that was gifted to a particular group of people for constructing a school, or the land that was gifted to for the maintenance of a school, that was called Shalbhoga. Then what is another? Devdana. Okay, another is Devdana. So the land gifted to temples. Now according to their verbal meaning we can easily understand, like Brahmadeya. Brahma means Brahmins, so the land that was gifted to Brahmins was called Brahmadeya. Then Shalbhoga, then the land that was given to the school, that was called Shalbhoga. Then Devdana, Dev means gods, so the land that was gifted to temples, that was called Devdana. And the last one is Palli Chandanam. So the land donated to Jain institutions was called Palli Chandanam. Palli Chandanam. What was Palli Chandanam? The land that was gifted to Jain institutions was called Palli Chandanam. Okay. We have seen that Brahmins often received land grant or Brahmadeya. We can easily see that Brahmins often used to receive Brahmadeya. As a result, a large number of Brahmin settlements emerged in the Kaveri Valley as in other part of South India. So as a result, what happened in the valley of Kaveri River, large number of Brahmin peasants were being developed. Each Brahmadeya was looked after by an assembly or Sabha of a prominent Brahmana landlords. Each Brahmadeya. Now Brahmadeya land was not only land of what should I say, 1 hectare or 2 hectare. The huge part of land means 100 hectare, 200 hectare. That part used to be called as Brahmadeya. So this whole land was governed or maintained by a Sabha or assembly that in that assembly the prominent Brahmins landlords used to be there. These assemblies worked very efficiently their decisions efficiently sorry their decisions were recorded in detail in the inscriptions, often on the stone walls of temples. Association of traders known as Nagaram. Okay, association of traders known as Nagarams also occasionally performed administrative functions in town. Underline, in the town areas, the Nagaram. What was Nagaram? The unit of trade and commerce people, the unit of traders, okay, commercial people was called Nagaram. Okay, so it occasionally used to perform some function in town areas sometimes. Inscriptions from Merur in Chingalpur district, Tamil Nadu. Now we are discussing for a particular inscription. So Uttar Merur inscription from Chingalpur district, Tamil Nadu provide details of the way in which the Sabha was organized. How the Sabha used to be organized. This detail has been provided in a famous, famous inscription that has been found from Uttar Merur in Chingalpur district, Tamil Nadu. Provide details of the way in which Sabha was organized. The Sabha had separate committees to look after irrigation work, gardens, temple. Names of those eligible to be members of these committees were written on small tickets of palm leaf. So a Sabha used to be subdivided into different kind of subcommittees, and these committees were responsible for taking some important action, like the action on gardens, the action plan for temples, the action for plan for irrigation work, etc. The names of those eligible to be members of these committees were written on small tickets of the palm leaf. Now the person who used to be the member of these committees, their name used to be written on a palm leaf. You know, palm leaf, palm is a tree. These tickets were put into an earth ware pot. Now these tickets used to be put into an earthenware pot from which a young boy was asked to take out the ticket. Now it's just like lottery system. I think lottery system. Those names were written on a palm leaf. Then all the names were put down into a earthware pot, and then a small boy, young boy was asked to take out of the tickets one by one for each committee. So this was a very interesting system. Lottery system was available at that time. Now the inscription and taxes. So this is another topic. So we would like to discuss it tomorrow. That is sufficient for today. We have studied 2 or 3 pages. That what was the agriculture and irrigation in Chola dynasty. Then second one, what was their administrative scenario available in 9th and 10th century. So right now, what is your homework? Question number 1. What do you mean by Vellala? What do you mean by Vellala? Okay, Vellala. Question number 2. Describe different kind of lands of Chola dynasty. Describe about different kind of lands mentioned in Chola inscription. The third question for you people, what were the famous what were the important agricultural and what were the important agricultural and irrigational techniques that were adopted by Chola dynasty, that were adopted by Tamil people and Chola rulers, that were adopted by Chola rulers and Tamil people. And the last question for you people, the last question, write a short note on write a short note on the election policy the election policy for being a member in sabha. Write a short note on the election policy for being a member in Sabha. Now, how the Sabha member, the member of a committee used to be elected, okay, that has described in Uttar Merur inscription of Tamil Nadu state, okay. So, this is your homework. I think you all will be very happy and fine. Keep yourself healthy and happy. We will meet soon. Thank you for joining.